Before I start, I need to clarify that this video is for Olympic recurve style archers that use a clicker. It does apply to other types of archery, but it's specifically for archers that use a clicker. All right, let's get into it. So to start, I want to look at what shot timing is. So shot timing is pretty straightforward. It's the time it takes for you to shoot an arrow. That being from once you begin pulling back the bow to completing the shot and getting to your follow through. What you want is good shot timing. So good shot timing is when your timing between shots is consistent. It's pretty straightforward. More specifically, when you're expanding, your expansion is consistent. When aiming for good shot timing, you're not aiming for it to be quick. You're aiming for consistency. The reason you're aiming for consistency is because everyone shoots different. Some people shoot slow, some people naturally shoot fast. But if it's the same, then your arrow's gonna go in the same spot. If it's different every time, it's not gonna go in the same spot. It's pretty straightforward. You need to do the same thing over and over again to get the same result. And timing is just one of those things that helps tighten up your grips pretty quick. Consistent shot timing isn't something that's forced. It's a byproduct of good shooting. Now, how would you get this good shooting? So it would come down to two factors. The two factors that affect shot timing the most are, in my opinion, one, making a clear decision to shoot the arrow, and two, having a consistent expansion. Let's start with the first part, the decision to shoot. As a part of your shot process, I highly recommend you incorporate a clear step where you 100% commit to shooting the arrow. Once you've come the full draw, you've anchored, your structure feels strong, and your sight pin's floating around where you want it, that's when you're ready to make the decision that you want to shoot this arrow 100%. After you begin expanding, you cannot let down. There is no other option except to shoot the arrow. Doesn't matter where it goes, but you've committed. You're going to shoot that arrow. The only reason I would say to let down is if your sight pin moves way off target, like into the blue or somewhere off there, or if there's something dangerous going on, like if someone's walking behind the target, then obviously let down. But if those circumstances aren't there, there's no other option. Once you commit, 100% you're going. So to make this decision, I like to use a word in my head. So the word go, shoot, whatever. But you got to have like a word or a clear cue where you decide that this is the point. So how would a step like this help shot timing? Well, what it does is it gets rid of any doubt and hesitation if you do it properly and practice it. Once you've made the decision, if you're not looking back, there's no other thoughts in your head. There's no other option. So all you're doing is expanding all the way to the end. There will be no need to hesitate on the click or think about it because you already know what you're going to do, right? You're going all the way. So it just speeds up your shots a little bit or gets rid of the really, really slow ones that you don't want to be slow. And that's why it helps shot timing, because you decide and then you go. Decide and then you go. Whereas if you're a bit wishy-washy about it, you're at full draw, you're expanding, and while you're expanding, you're deciding if you want to shoot it or not, how are you going to be consistent? You've got to decide and then go. That's why it's so important. Now, one last thing to clarify about this step is it's a 100% a mental step. So it doesn't mean you have to come the full draw and completely stop. You can come the full draw, make the decision, and then go. You don't have to stop completely. And I'd prefer if you didn't actually. If you can get a nice motion all the way through, it's a lot better. All right, now for the second part, having a consistent expansion. There are two main things that can affect a consistent expansion. One is how much clicker you have to pull through each shot. And the second one is whether you have a consistent expansion movement. These are the two things. All right, first I want to look at how much clicker you have to pull through. So in between shots, if on one shot you have 2 millimeters of clicker to pull through, and another shot you have a whole point of clicker to pull through, so it just keeps changing, how do you think that's going to affect your shot timing? Well, it's going to be different every time, right? Especially if you're expanding at a constant speed. If you're starting from a different point every time, it's going to be very different. So it's something that needs to be consistent between shots. One way you'd go about managing how much clicker you had to pull through is by clicker checking. So what you do is, as you come into full draw, you will watch the clicker to see how much you have left, and you want to get that as consistent as possible. Ideally you want 1 to 2 mil of clicker, millimeters, but as long as it's the same, that's fine. It's got to be the same. No more than a whole point though, no way. And I'm talking about like a tungsten point, so it's like about a centimeter. No more than a centimeter, that's way too much. So clicker checking, that's the first part of how to get consistent expansion timing. Now the second part is having a consistent expansion movement. The reason you want a consistent expansion movement is so that your timing is essentially the same. If you're expanding slow some shots, fast some shots very jagged, it's very inconsistent. It's got to be consistent and constant. Having a consistent and constant expansion paired with expanding from the same spot every time, that's how you get consistent shot execution. It's very simple. Hard in practice, obviously. Now that we've had a look at the two main things that are going to help improve shot timing, one being having a clear decision to want to shoot the arrow, and two, having a consistent expansion, we're going to use a metronome timer to put everything together and practice it all together, like I vaguely discussed in my previous video. So using the metronome timer, this is what good shot timing looks like, and this is what bad shot timing looks like. Shot timing. Alright, so I would set the metronome timer to 60 beats per minute, and what you're going to do is just going to leave it aside. So you're going to have it playing in the background, you're going to get to full draw, and once you make the clear decision to shoot the arrow, at that exact point, that's when you're going to tune into the metronome timer. And I want you to expand at a smooth and constant speed and get the shot done and be at the end within 5 beats. When you do this, I want you to be consistent from the start to the end. I don't want you to speed up the shot just to get it within the 5 beats. If you think you're going a bit slow and you're not going to get it in time, you're still going to keep moving at the same speed. So the reason I do 5 beats max is so that everyone can have a consistent shot timing. Because some people shoot with more clicker than others. Some people will shoot straight away. Some people will take a bit longer. I take a bit longer personally. So if that's what you're comfortable with, don't speed it up. That's not the point of having consistent shot timing. Your expansion needs to be consistent. Doesn't need to be fast, just the same. The reason you want to tune into the metronome timer once you start expanding and not from the very, very beginning is so that you don't start expanding prematurely just to get the arrow off. Because that causes all sorts of problems and you become slave to the timer and slave to timing, the concept of timing itself. Yeah, so use a metronome timer. That's basically it. That's how you get consistent shot timing. You just got to remember, when you're trying to get better shot timing, what you need to be focusing on is having a clear decision to want to shoot the arrow and making that decision, having that commitment, and having a consistent expansion. Those are the two things that will lead to good shot timing. Good shot timing is just an outcome thing. It just happens by doing those two things. So just make sure your focus is in the right place. All right, that's it. I've got plenty of video suggestions at the moment. If you got any more, chuck it in the comments. I'll have a look at it and add it to the list. Let me know if you like this style of content or what else you want to see. And that's basically it. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.